There once was a hippie in Northern California that kind of dropped out of his community college and started hanging out in an apple orchard with this other hippie who taught him this concept, this principle. And the hippie said that it changed his entire outlook on life. It opened him up to a new level of consciousness. What was this principle and who was this hippie? Well, the principle is called the reality distortion field. And the hippie was none other than Apple founder Steve Jobs. And the way that this reality distortion field worked was that it gave the possessor the ability to bend reality to their will, so that things that are normally impossible stop becoming impossible and start becoming probable, because you have this reality distortion field where everything around you alters. And in fact, many people that worked at Apple commented on Steve's reality distortion field. They said things like, man, when you were with Steve, you knew logically that what he was saying wasn't possible, but somehow he just kind of made it true. And others said the reality distortion field would activate when Steve would have this illogical vision for the future, but for some reason it just kind of made sense. And in fact, at the original Apple headquarters, they had a cafeteria with a fridge that had some juices. Steve was really into health and cleanses and stuff like that. And the employees even made shirts that said reality distortion field on the front, and on the back it said, it's in the juice. So the reality distortion field was a big part of Apple's culture, and it was one of the key things that allowed Steve to go accomplish the impossible. So tying back to this principle of perception, how could a reality distortion field benefit you in your life? What if you actually did have this aura that just bent reality to your will? Why are you going to be the top performer in the industry this year? Because you have this force field. And if you decide that you're going to go sell more accounts or set more appointments than anyone in the industry today, then that's going to happen because of this force field. When people open the door, they're now under the influence of your reality distortion field. So Steve Jobs utilized this concept. It gave him the confidence and the ability to go do things that no one else was able to do, because he truly believed that he had magic powers, that with his mind and with his thoughts, he could change reality. What's interesting though, is if you look at many of the world's top leaders, Gandhi, Buddha, business leaders like Henry Ford, Napoleon Hill, thought leaders and artistic leaders like Shakespeare, there's so many. They all seem to echo this idea that you create the world with your thoughts, and that you can actually change reality in really crazy ways if you believe it strong enough internally. So I challenge you to go craft your own reality distortion field, believe it exists, and use it to your benefit to bend reality to your will and go accomplish things that you never thought was possible.